Oh, so I tried to invent the ultimate conspiracy theory. This is the ultimate conspiracy theory. We're going to go explain this for you. I tried to invent this conspiracy theory. Um, I believe China rules the world in some kind of way because I think they are manipulating the United States through propaganda. And by manipulating the United States through propaganda, they're making the United States into democratic socialists, but not communists. There's a difference, I think. Now, China was once Maoist China, so it was also communist. And I believe China is still communist, but it's no longer like Maoist, I guess. And I believe the Russians are not actually communists. I believe they were during Soviet Russia, but not anymore. I think they support capitalism now. In reality, that's what I think. And thus, by China manipulating the United States through propaganda to make the internal United States, but not the military, since the military is Republican, people who think for themselves. And so are some people in the United States, like there's a lot of Republicans in the USA. But by manipulating people to become democratic socialists, as they are today, through propaganda in the media. The media is thus affecting the worldwide opinions across the globe that are coming from the United States. Since the world is so focused on the media in the United States, why do you think people in other countries have a problem with Trump? They are not Republicans. They are not even Democrats because they're not in the USA. They are not United States citizens, but they don't like Trump because they have been manipulated by United States media that promotes democratic socialism into believing Trump is a bad person, when he's clearly just a good guy who wants to help people. And I think most Republicans would say that we should probably support our president. I didn't like Joe Biden, but at least I supported him. I said he's the president, I have principles, and I'm going to support the president, even though I don't really like him. I don't go and say Trump is the fucking dictator when he's clearly not. He's just a president. He just has a sort of personality that turns a lot of democratic socialists off. You know, now they can't orgasm when they look at their porn. So anyways, what I'm saying is, I do not believe the Russians are I do not believe Russian people are communists. I don't really know what goes on in Russia. I'm not very educated. But I don't believe they are communists. I think they were during Soviet Russia, but not anymore. Now, there's also the Middle East, where people are very extreme in their Islamism, and I am a Muslim, so I want to talk about this for a second. I think that people in the Middle East sort of disregard politics, and instead they're focused on their religion, which is a very core idea. Say, focus on the religion, not the politics. And as a result, there's a lot of wars going on. So I don't know, this is my opinion about this whole situation. And the words I'm saying I think are actually very powerful. Even though I'm saying a very few words. I mean, we're talking about big countries here that have an effect on the world. But then there's also just what's going on with people. That people are sort of able to be manipulated by what it is regarding what it is they're consuming. Say someone spends their time listening to NPR News. Then they're going to get all their opinions from NPR News and believe everything NPR News says because they have no reason to doubt it. They just think, oh, this is the truth now. Even though it's not. NPR News is a lie. It's a place where democratic socialists can communicate with one another through a radio station that is regarded as the truth, just as all of this other democratic socialist media. And they are being manipulated by NPR News within our own walls, within our own nation, but the Republican military is separate, and China is afraid of the United States military since they have power over China. And China does not launch nuclear weapons since they are afraid of the United States military. This is what I believe. So this is my ultimate conspiracy theory.